Okay, now.
Hello, everybody. I am Claudia, and this class is dear to my heart because I love my lungs. I'm sure all of you love your lungs, but you know when you love your lungs most? You love your lungs most when they do not function well. So then you stop taking them for granted and you do your very best um, not to ever take the breath of life for granted. So, just a quick story about myself. I was diagnosed as an asthmatic when I turned 40. And the doctor was very surprised about that. She said, that's not the usual because most people are born with weak lungs or asthma is something that they grow out of. But because of my lifestyle, because of the cleaning products that I used, I was a bleach girl, not just my married name, but that's what I lived by. If my house didn't smell like bleach, if it didn't smell like Clorox, I felt it wasn't clean. So ammonia and Clorox was just part of my cleaning routine, and I suffered severe damage with my lungs. So spring is brutal for me. In Florida, the month of September is brutal for me. Cats for me mean death. Um, and during 2020, 2021, I had to be extra, extra cautious. So it's one of the reasons why I love my Young Living account so much. And I'm going to show you some things. If you are ones that want to take care of your lungs, want to take care of your wellness, um, want to control the phlegm in your life, I'm going to give you some tips. And please write down any questions after I am done with my little presentation. I am open to have a chat. Let me show you one of my favorite supplements. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on one second, because this one, do you guys still see me? Good. So one of my favorite supplements, and it's ones for you guys to keep note of. This is Allerzyme. So why is this important? So a lot of times products from Young Living or oils from Young Living, you get a clue in the name. So if you look at Allerzyme, hopefully you guys are all thinking of the same word I'm thinking of, especially spring when things are in bloom, aller. We would put different letters there. And a lot of you suffer from sinus issues, nose issues, chest issues. This is a very important supplement. Now, this is going to work on the gut. You could see everything that is written here is about the gut, promoting digestion. And you might say, why is Claudia sharing a supplement on the gut? Your immune system starts in the gut. Lung health starts in the gut. A lot of you that have skin issues, let me just look at your faces at this time. If you have skin issues, most likely that means you have lung issues. I'm going to repeat that again. Skin issues. I can't mention it by name because we're going to be recorded, but a lot of people will say, oh, little so and so has massive skin issues, especially in the elbow area, the knee area, lots of itching, lots of flaking. And guess what? That usually means you have weak lungs. And that also means you have a jacked up gut. So Allerzyme is beautiful to help break down your foods. It's beautiful to help your body fight back in spring. Your sinuses, your tonsils, your adenoids, all are things that help you put up a fight in springtime. So if you love on those parts of the body, they will pay you back in a big way. So what's a simple way? We're going to talk about some of the oils, but for most of you that you're part of the Young Living family, what's the simplest way to make your nose and sinuses happy? Anybody have a clue? What's
Raven.
this?
Raven.
We're diffusing. So diffusing, this is what this is, diffusing. So you will not all have oils at the same time. Louisa might not have Raven. I know Rose for a fact does not have Raven or lavender, right? And we're talking about Young Living oils. I'm not talking about the Target special. I'm talking about oils from Young Living. But what you have, when you look at your collection, citrus oils are fabulous, lavender is fabulous, and of course, the biggest oils at this time during the spring season, you want to make sure you have tree oils. Eucalyptus is the big one. Raven and RC. Please note that it's blends, and I'm going to show you what they contain. Let me just show you. So I'm going to show you a picture because a picture says 1,000 words. And of course, Chris got me into this. So this is RC. RC, think of the word respiratory comfort. RC will not break the bank, but it's a special blend of eucalyptus oils, which is very important. So you can apply this underneath your nostrils, on the sides of your neck. You can rub it through your scalp. You can add it to your shampoo during a nice hot and steamy shower. Breathe it in deep. It does a body good. And then more importantly, diffuse RC. RC is an important one. So let me show you RC's big, ugly sister. And it's a little bit more powerful. This is Raven. So Raven, hold on one second. Sorry. My daughter always calls me during the class time. Raven also has eucalyptus in it, but it has Ravensara, which makes it stronger. Wintergreen, peppermint. Now, Raven might be too strong to put on your sinus points on your face, but Raven is fabulous for a chest rub. Raven is fabulous in the diffuser, and Raven is fabulous to put with RC in the diffuser. So if your nose, your sinuses, your throat, if this is an uncomfortable season for you, this is mandatory. And so when should you get Raven? Should you get Raven? You know what? I'm going to wait for spring. I'll get Raven when it's springtime. The rule of thumb is to get what you need before the crisis arises. So if you have sinus issues, if you're known for having respiratory issues, if you're known for having chest issues, please don't wait. Don't wait till you have an attack of something. And then you're like, I think I'm going to put in my Young Living order today. You'll be dead by the time it comes back. So you want to plan accordingly, plan logically, plan according to your budget, right? And also always think about, okay, so I'm going to tell you something personal about me. Before Young Living, my asthma stuff, my asthma supplies, if you will, my price was $300 at least a month. $300. So that included my nebulizer, that included the albuterol, that included the asthma meds, that included my allergy meds that I have to take. And I really felt my doctor at this time. I really wasn't happy with her, but I just called her my drug dealer because that's what I felt she was. I was like, I wasn't getting better. My lungs were getting more fragile. And what was happening to me is I became resistant, or my body became accustomed. So if my asthma medicine, if I got used to it, guess what it did for me? It stopped functioning for me. So they would have to upgrade me to something stronger. And whenever an upgrade happened, it was always more expensive. It was never buy one, get one free. It was never, sometimes I would ask my doctor, please, do you have samples? Do you have something that I can use? Because I can't afford all these meds. So when I switched to Young Living, that was the biggest thing I could bring to the table, was how much cheaper it was to use my diffuser, my oils, and my vitamins. I have not used a nebulizer in a long, long, long time. I haven't used my asthma meds in a long, and it makes me feel so good. Now, it doesn't mean that I've never used them, because after 2021, for a brief moment in time, my lungs did weaken and I did have to go on meds. I have to breathe, right? So it's mandatory. I can't wait to see, well, I wonder what Raven will do for me by tomorrow. No, if I can't breathe today, I need meds. But for the most part, because I'm consistent, I have a routine. If you were to walk in my house as a surprise, you would always see my diffusers on. And just another quick little personal story. Some of my diffusers I travel with. So some of my very best friends have cats. And this is my proof. This is my personal proof in the pudding that it's not, what do you call it when it's an imaginary fix. I can't think of the word, but maybe one of you knows if it's not real medicine. Do you know the word I'm thinking about, Chris? Um,
Judo medicine. There's another
no,
word.
no, no. There's a word if it's not, oh,
Placebo.
placebo. I love you. So there's some people that felt like, well, maybe it's a placebo. Maybe Claudia is like, wink, wink. Those diffusers really don't do much for her. It's a placebo effect. So let me give you what is my proof in the pudding. So I have a friend that when she's hospitable to me and she invites me over, she has two large cats. Cats are very attracted to me. In the neighborhood, cats will look for me at a friend's house. If the cat sees me, they know they have the power to kill me. So they come after me. They want to rub against me, even if I walk down the street. So her two big fluffy cats will come by me and I travel with my diffuser. So I have my diffuser on and the cat can stay right next to me. It could sometimes rub against me. And as long as I have my diffuser, now this one has breathe again in it, I'm good to go. I don't have swollen eyes. I don't have hives. I don't have a sneezing attack. I am good to go because the diffuser cleans up my personal airspace. So if I go to her house, now she's part of my Young Living team as well. So she usually has her diffuser on. But some of the friends, when they use their diffuser, like if there's a need, how many drops of oil do you think I put in this diffuser if I'm in respiratory need? Do you think I put 1 to 5 drops? You think a few drops of lavender, that'll hold me over? I'll put 2 drops. I'm on a budget. I don't want to run out of my bottle. So 2 drops of lavender. Do you think that's what I put in here?
No.
No. So I use at least 10 to 15 drops of either lavender, raven, RC, breathe again, peppermint. I do not, if I have a powerful need, then I make my diffuser powerful. This diffuser is my most powerful of all because it only uses the oil. It has no water. This has water in it. But for the most part, this does me good. Unless there's an emergency, then I use this one. But for the most part, I'm able, most of the asthma meds that I have in my house at this time, they're expired. That's the issue I have because I use Young Living. By the time, if I do need an asthma meds, I always have to go year by year just to make sure I have the inhaler because it expires because I don't have a necessity for it. So if you're in doubt, what should I get? The cheapest ones for spring is lavender, peppermint, lemon. That's for spring. And let me show you the thing. I want you guys to take a picture of this one because this is very important. Let me see if I saved it. If I didn't save it, I'll have to talk it out. Let me see if this is it. Hold on. Yes, I did so good. Yay, I prepared for this class. So this is the easiest. This is the easiest. And whether you have the regular bottle that says topical or you have the internal bottle, just remember it's the same oil. So you can use the peppermint, the lemon, the lavender internally. You could take it with a teaspoon of honey or with milk or with a small shot of water, or you could see the little veggie caps diffusing lemon, lavender, peppermint. Fabulous for your personal space. And topically, you could put one of these drops each in your hand, rub it on your chest, rub it on the sides of your neck, rub it through your scalp, breathe them in, breathe them in. They will do you so good during spring. And then the other oils that are very important for you, I hope you remember the eucalyptus oils. I hope you remember RC, Raven, Peppermint. And I hope you practice good breathing habits because diffusing cleans up the space in your house. So my diffusers, mold is a big issue in Florida. Mold is a big issue for my lungs. For most of you that are watching me, mold is an issue. Diffusing is amazing. Amazing. So even having one in your bedroom, when you take a shower or a bath, bring a diffuser in there, shut the door, have your own little private spa time, but do things to show love to your lungs, to your respiratory system, to your sinuses. So that is the end of what I brought for you. Does anybody have questions for me? On spring, on your nose, Carmelo, Carmen, Sharon. Yay, Carmelo's waving. I see him. Okay. Tell me what your question is.
I noticed that everything you mentioned was diffusing. Are any of these particular oils that you have mentioned, do you take it like under your tongue to help you more to breathe? I just want to know.
So when it's my lung issue, I tend to rub the oils on my chest
Yes.
and my throat.
Okay.
Internally, what I focus on internally for my respiratory system, this is important because you asked a good question. The allerzyme, the alkaline. Alkaline is a pH balance for the body. So for those of you that are watching me that eat too much sugar, which is me, alkaline helps balance out the gut. If you balance out your gut, you have less phlegm. Less phlegm. So people that have phlegm, let me just tell you something that was told to me when my girls were little. My girls loved macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese. I've made macaroni and cheese, I was a success story. Macaroni and cheese clogged up the respiratory system. If they had if they had a lot of phlegm, if they had a lot of drainage, they had a lot of skin issues. And I'm going to mention the skin issues that my girls suffered from because I want you to know. Eczema. Eczema is a big deal. People that have eczema, you have lung issues. I know I'm not a doctor, but I'm putting it out there right there. If you have eczema, you have lung issues. So diffusing, it goes through your nose, you could also, Carmelo, you could take oils like RC or lemongrass. If you have your favorite happy lung oil, like let's just say lavender. I'm just going to show you some things that I do. Now I'm using a stronger one because this is spring. I put a couple of oils on my wrist. Then I touch it to my eyebrows.
Yeah. Okay.
I put it on the inner. I don't touch it in my eye, but my eyes get irritated by spring. You could touch it to your nostrils, your membrane. It feels so good. You put it on the sides of your throat, right? And you could use RC and Raven on the sides of your throat if Carmelo is a noisy sleeper. We pick on Carmelo because he's the only man here. But if you put it on the sides of your throat, you will sleep more like a Prince Charming instead of that we can hear you. The chest, and the thieves chest rub. If you guys have respiratory issues, if spring is a hassle for you, please make sure you have the thieves chest rub in stock, right? Spanish people love Vicks. We use Vicks for everything. Thieves chest rub should replace Vicks because it's not, of course, the word just left my brain right now. It is not, it'll come to me, but it's easier, more natural breakdown than petroleum. That's the word I was looking for. Vicks is petroleum based. The thieves chest rub, no petroleum whatsoever. So anybody else have questions? I saw somebody else. Shannon, did you have questions for me, love? Did you have a question?
Actually, no, but this is the first I've heard of the thieves chest rub. So, and
Okay.
I'm a very advocate Vicks user. So now I have something else I'm going to try.
Yes, and you could do
Thank you
thieves.
for that.
You don't need as much thieves as you do the Vicks chest rub, but all the ways that you use Vicks, you can use the thieves chest rub. So hold on one second. Hold on, because there's somebody that is, I don't know who's, I hear it chatter. Rosie, did you have questions for me, love?
Yes, you brought up a good thing about allergies. I suffer since I was 15, and it gotten worse because I'm highly allergic to with cats and dogs. And I did use, and I still do use Vicks. It do help, but from over here is where I'm clogged.
Right.
And that's where it bothers me. And it's on this side. the most.
So you have to get a diffuser, and we have to now graduate from the Vicks rub to the Thieves chest rub. Thieves is all plant-based. And Thieves also, what's good about Thieves is that it destroys a lot of the allergens that we have. Like mold is an issue for me. So if I have Thieves close to me, I don't have that. So
Yes.
until you start diffusing, because you have to experience it for yourself. And let me tell you something, when you use something for yourself, your personal confidence grows up. So when I had to go to the doctor in 2020, I had to go back to a pulmonologist because 2021, my chest, it was a bit of a soap opera. And the doctor said to me, he wanted me to know right off the bat, essential oils don't work, which I do not disagree with, unless of course it's Young Living. I agree with that. So I just, I kept my mouth shut. And then he said, what medication are you on for your asthma? And I said, I'm not on medication. And he looked at my chart. He says, what have you been using the last 10 years for your asthma? And I said, my essential oils that don't work. And so he was like, he gave me a little bit of a stink eye. And I said, I use Young Living. The nurse on the other side of me said, I believe you. I know they work. And they wouldn't let me use my oils when they would take lung tests, because they have to test the capacity of my lungs, because I was at the pulmonologist. So the nurse would make sure, please don't put on any Young Living oils. We smell them, and we want to see how your lungs work without them. So I obeyed, I complied. The doctor told me this time around, you're going to be on your medication permanently. You're not going to be able to step off. And I told him, I said, I don't have a problem with that. If I need it, I'll use it. Well, at the end of the medication trial, because I kept using my oils personally at home, I kept diffusing, I kept applying. The next time they gave me my lung test, I passed with flying colors. Wow. And the nurse told me, you don't have to use your medication anymore.
Nice.
So my personal testimony built up my confidence that I want you to know what you have at your disposal. You have choices. You have choices. And the reason those choices are important is because there is a cap on how much medication can do for you. In an emergency situation, absolutely, absolutely necessary. Absolutely. But there's sometimes if you become resistant, for me, it's like the last asthma meds that they told me, they said, this is the top of the line. If you can't breathe with this, hospitalization will be required, because it wasn't going to work for me anymore. Yeah. And so how grateful I am personally that I can breathe, I can function, I'm not heaving, I'm not a non-ending soap opera. Have you ever met a person that's a non-ending soap opera? You go, how you doing? They're like, yes. And they want to tell you, that you're a friend. They want to tell you how hard life has been. But you have at your disposal, if you're consistent, you can turn something around. Not perfection, but something that your body would find easier to use, something that can open up the bronchial, something that can help with the phlegm. And so we're here to help. We're here to offer suggestions, share testimonies, and, just to keep encouraging. Because I always ask for people that have lung issues or people that tell me, the oils don't work for me. Have you used them? Do you use them every day? Or do you only use them when your emergency moment comes up? I always ask that. Did you use oils before the tragedy happened? And well, I forgot. Like if you turn to your oil when you are 2020 positive and you sound like an elephant is sitting on your chest, yeah, by that time I don't have much faith in my oils either. My daughter came to my house because she wanted mom to take care of her, but my daughter had pneumonia. So I'm like, we're going to the hospital. It's too big. You didn't do what I told you before, you see? And so you have to be logical. You have to use your stuff consistently before the storm comes in.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Carmen.
saying about the sinuses, like Rose was saying that her sinuses, yep. I have it here and I can't seem to, in the morning, I have to use my sinus sprays because
Yeah.
I'm kind of clogged up.
Okay, so are you diffusing regularly, Carmen?
Yeah, we diffuse every day.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is in the morning, make sure you have a collection of your eucalyptus, your lavender, and give yourself a facial massage. So you can put your oils right here on the sinuses where you feel the clog, right? Sometimes I feel the clog here. Sometimes touching my eyebrow during spring season hurts. Tap it
Right up
with
here.
the oils on, Don't
That's the
tap just your
sinuses.
face. This
Yeah,
is
right
pre
here.
tap face. Tap with the oil on, tap.
Mm-hmm.
And it will, and you can also do a stone. You can also pull down. You could pull down. You could dig right here in your sinus point. Look how attractive I look when I do this. Push it in, pull down, push it in, pull down with the oils, and you'll feel it. Sometimes I rub the oil around my ear, and I promise you, one of the oils that I was using, I felt a little pop, and it felt like a river was running, like I heard water move. So you can look up YouTube facial massage exercises, stone massages. You can grab the green guasha stone, or the roller, dig it in your face. Don't be afraid. If you feel a side of you clogged, move it. Don't drink any ice drinks when you have a clog, because an ice or a cold drink will coagulate phlegm. So you want to use warm, hot teas, room temperature water, use your oils and get things to move. Because this area, when you have a sinus issue, it's very difficult, even with the meds, to get in this area. And the other thing I do, let me show you what's one of my favorite things to do. This is a diffuser. You guys can see the mist. I stick my nose right over it. And then I stick it on the other nostril.
I've done that.
You can grab a Q-tip, roll the Q-tip ends into RC oil, and then stick it like a bull ring in your nostrils. You're not going to look attractive, but you will feel fabuloso. So do the massages, do the eyebrow thing. Yeah, it looks very unattractive, but I saved those presents.
Let me add something here too, Carmen, because I'm the cave woman oiler. Take your peppermint and put it on your tongue at one
Which I have.
to the top. Put your tongue to the top and see if you don't feel. Put the tongue to the roof of your mouth and hold it for a second and see if you don't feel something here.
So what do you feel when you do that, Chris? What do you feel?
It's open. Everything's open.
It's opening up it opened up a little bit.
You could do that with frankincense. You can do that, and just keep working on I do facial massages, and I also do a hot washcloth, like in the bath. If I sit in Epsom salt, right? Because Epsom salts help drain the body. But I'll take a hot cloth and I'll put lemongrass on it, a little bit of peppermint, and I put it over my face. Loosen all that garbage up. And
where were you when I needed you back then? When I had my
was
first
here.
sinus,
You guys
I
took
was
me
so
for
much in
granted.
pain.
That's what it is. When you don't appreciate me and your, I'm just kidding. But so
I was suffering
these
my
tips,
first
yeah.
time.
Write it down. Write it down, because you're not always going to remember. And if there's something you forget, if there's something you're like, I can't read what oil, don't stress. Remember your tree oils. Remember your eucalyptus. And remember your diffusing. Just your diffusing. And be proactive, be aggressive. You don't need to hold me or Chris's hand be adventurous. Put those drops in, be generous. You can't be generous like that with frankincense, but good grief, you guys can be generous with the lemon oil, with peppermint, with eucalyptus. It's not going to break the bank. You're not going to go bankrupt. Put it in there. And then, put your face, you can put a towel over your face, a towel over it, breathe it in. And then, remember to touch your face. Don't be afraid to touch your face to see where it hurts. Because when I have sinuses, it's my cheeks, but my eyebrows hurt too. Because sometimes I feel I feel my head heavy. So I, tap with my oils, and I've seen a big difference. So I hope you will too.
Well,
I have a question.
Claudia
I'm
is
sorry.
the expert because Claudia has had all these issues. But I just thought I'd share with you all a few stories that I heard from others. Honestly, we have never had, since we started with oils, big issues like that. So I speak from ignorance, except what my friends have told me. That's why I wanted Claudia to do this class tonight. But I do want to tell you what I have heard. I mean, just backing up what Claudia is telling you. And the one oil we use regularly is peppermint. And I think that has kept us as healthy as possible and free of these kind of problems. So peppermint is almost a daily go-to in this house, as is lemon. So like she told you all, lemon, lavender, and peppermint are great for springtime or fall when everything's floating through the air. Lemon, lavender, peppermint, don't forget. So those are just regulars. We do lemon in our water every single morning. I do peppermint to freshen my breath in my mouth. I put peppermint in the diffuser because I absolutely love it in the diffuser. And lavender is nighttime. That's what I diffuse at night with something else, usually almost every night. But the stories we've heard from friends, the loved oils are the two she told you about. They are Raven and RC. So these are big eucalyptus oils, peppermints in here. So don't forget about these two. They are very, very important. And I've had people horrendously down that love, love, love these oils. Some say, no, Raven is the one to go to. They've tried them both. Others say, no, RC is the one to go to, and they've tried them both. So everybody's a little bit different. Maybe what you're dealing with is a little bit different, but these two oils right here. And here's another story that I heard from a friend who was below the wellness line with these kind of respiratory issues for a super long time. But the thing that she loves, she knows Raven, she knows RC. I was hoping maybe she'd pop on and she could tell you herself. But the Young Living product, I would have never thought of that impressed her more than the RC and the Raven. This is not the kind of issues Claudia was talking about. This is temporary issues when you're just down for a month or so. The Imu gummies. She absolutely fell in love with the Imu gummies. She said she noticed a difference. She was doing the Raven, she was doing the RC, but the Imu gummies. So if it's a temporary issue that you have, it's not a permanent problem that you have. Remember your Imu gummies. And those are the kind of things, the inner defense, the Imu gummies, they're just sitting around here for when trauma strikes. Because like Claudia said, I get a kick out of you. You'll be dead if you wait for them to ship it to you. If you're like, I'm dying and I need these products now. Yeah, don't wait. Just have them in ready to go for when you need it. And that's about all I had for you guys tonight. This was Claudia's class, and thank you all for coming. I don't know if there's something else you wanted to add, Claudia?
Dee had a question. I saw her hand up. Dee, can you unplug her or unmute her? I don't know.
Yeah, okay, I got unmuted. You know what? I'm sorry I'm late coming on, but I had to get me a little vitamin D in the sun today. And I usually get that in the afternoon. If I don't get it in the morning, it's too cloudy and cold. So I had to get it in the afternoon, and so I realized it was already 4 o'clock, a little bit after. So, but anyway, I agree with you say, Claudia. You know, at my age, being a retired beautician and was all into the beauties and all of the things. I experiment things and I try things, and if it doesn't work, I'm not afraid to add a little bit more to it and make it. Try to learn to make your own formulas,
Yes,
and the formulas that you give, they're very good. But if you feel that you need a little bit more to it, add it, because I know I do. My daughter says, "Mom, you forever running out." I said, "No, I'm not running out. I'm
that's right.
using my oils." And I said, "And I have plenty." And I said, "They're there, and I'll get more." But do that. Always try to go along with your body and how it feels, because sometimes everyone has to use a little more. Some have to use a little less.
That's right.
That's the
That's
best way to do
exactly
it.
right.
And the
Yes.
only way you know if it's working, because I know what is the pain relief. I need a little bit more in my pain relief. So
That's okay.
there was, yeah, I ordered a little bit more in my something in my pain relief, and it was thinking eucalyptus, because I don't think there was enough in there. And so now I don't have to take so much Tylenol.
Good for
You'd be
you.
surprised. Yeah, you'd be surprised how things can work for you, but you have to try because everybody's different. But I
So
do agree, Claudia.
let me give you a quick update. I do see Jacqueline with your hand up. I'm going to address you in just 2 seconds. This is the Adobe diffuser. And the reason this has become a new passion is, first of all, this is ceramic. This is not plastic.
Yeah.
This is now part of the premium starter kit. This is not going to stay at the same price. Right now, it's the same exact price that you can get a ceramic. The Adobe is my favorite because if I press the button twice, the middle button, and I hold it down, this runs almost 3 days. 3 days that your oils, you know, if you're using them in your bedroom, your bathroom, this is in my front room. And my husband's like, do we need all these diffuse? I do because I don't want to use the meds if I don't have to. So this is just something, if you know friends that are suffering in spring, be sure to let them know. So Jacqueline, I hope I didn't lose you. Tell me what your question was. I remember.
I don't have a question, but I'd like to say that I really enjoy this. I'm going to take this. I want to make a copy of it. I have a couple of people who are having problems with allergies, especially with the summer coming up, and I like for them to see the presentation so they can get it. My
And,
17.
you know, you guys can do the presentation. Like if you learn something from here, don't feel, well, I need Claudia or you really don't. You guys can say, this is what I learned, or this is even better yet. This is what I've experienced. This is what I experienced because Dee didn't need us. Dee is her own little soldier. She told her daughter, I have to use my stuff. Most people want you to store your oils.
That's like that
Even
one
when
you have.
Well, my 17-year-old granddaughter is her own advocate because when she comes and visits me, she's stuffed up. I've shown her how to peppermint a tent. And her mom just told me the other day that she's having her allergy problems, and my granddaughter told her peppermint. She said my granddaughter's a firm believer that peppermint solves everything.
that
So
was
every
my
time
daughter
my
as
mom
well.
complains about breathing, she said, "Mom, get the peppermint, get the peppermint." But my daughter does have a couple of diffusers. I said, "Are you using those?" And so now I'm encouraging her. I'm going to give her a bottle of peppermints because I know my granddaughter does not really want to share it. But she tells her mom all the time, "Mom, peppermint, peppermint, peppermint." So
Now, I'm going
she's
to tell you something. You might think that somebody doesn't want to share it, but the reason I'm so passionate about this is because lung issues run in my family. And so with people that I love, with my mom, with my siblings, with my daughters, with people that come over, when I see people down that they have the junk that's going around again and they can't breathe, I have them over my house even just to use my stuff, until it finally clicks that they need this in their own house. Some people say, I feel so good in your house. And I'm like, you can feel good in your house too, right? It's not just my house. If you have this on in your house, you can make your house a haven did you know that most people's homes are a bigger hazard than the outside because of the crap that they have in their house, whether they use air fresheners or toxic cleaners. But if you diffuse and if you get to know the power of the plants, you could teach people to make their own haven, and you could work with their budget. If somebody says, I don't have a lot of money, say, I know the cheapest oils on the market. I know the cheapest, but the best ones on the market. It's a $10 oil. Is that going to break you? Is a $20 oil? Is that going to break you? Is that too much? And then they'll be able to tell me honestly. Like this month, we had diffusers for $5. Do you know somebody that $5 would kill them? $5, they spend it on a Big Mac. Get a diffuser, right? So there's just ways. Rosie, did you have a question?
Yeah.
I want to add to what Dee said too. I'm with her. Peppermint is my joy.
Rosie.
Yes. Me too. I want to say the same thing. Peppermint. I suffer migraine badly, and it triggers my whole left side. My sister introduced it to me, the oil, and I put it on, like you were saying about the other way here. No lie, from here to here, I rub it, and I'm in the dark. I feel good. I threw away all my medications. I couldn't take it anymore. It was hurting my stomach. And when I went to the doctor, they saw it was clear. But since I ran out with all my things, I am suffering.
Well, let me know if you need me because I have the coupon ready for you. But Chris, that was all I had. Thank you so
Okay,
much
thank
for
you.
letting me teach this
I
class.
want to share one more thing while you guys are all still here. So we can do this, but if you have a friend who you think would benefit from starting with Young Living, share it with them. And this is the special event that Claudia mentioned to you. I'm just going to show it to you in a graphic that this particular premium starter bundle now is with that same ceramic diffuser, ceramic clay diffuser that Claudia has. And this diffuser on its own is $60. If you want to just go buy that diffuser, it's $60. And normally the diffuser that they have on this bundle is $30. So if you have a friend who wants to start with Young Living, now, like she said, this is a temporary thing. They can get all those oils that most of us got to start with, 12 oils, samples, the thieves spray, hand sanitizer, Ningxia Red, and a $60 diffuser for $165.
Yep.
And if you want to if you're a brand partner, then you get a commission back on that too. So it's a win-win situation. Win for them because they're getting such a deal, and win for you because you'll actually get a commission from it. So that's something new and exciting that just came out today, yesterday.
Yeah. And the other thing too, guys, is if, like when I had my girls living in the house, I couldn't afford a diffuser for all of us. But once the girls reached a certain age, they each got their own premium kit. So they would have the diffuser and then they'd have the oils because it's so silly to purchase a diffuser by itself if you don't have oils. What are you going to run in it? Water? I could squirt you with a water gun for that. You know what I mean? They'll be free. But if you get the kit with the premium
Feel like
starter kit
taking
is
more?
my favorite because it has the highest quality oils that we have. It has the raven, it has the frankincense, it has the oils that are outside of most people's budget. It's in that bundle that you can at least give yourself the spring season to be able to breathe. And then you could work your budget. You're like, okay, how can I afford, if I need to order next month or if I need to. But once you start feeling good, feeling healthy is cheaper than being sick. Don't forget that. Don't let anybody tell you different. You get to choose. Do you want to spend it on a hospital bill, the prescription medicine, the doctor's visit, or do you want to just take good care of yourself while you feel good? And you take care of it, you be proactive and you write it out. Write it out. So, I had to write it out for my husband. My husband would see my Young Living bill. He's like, what is this? And I said, here's the doctor's bill. Let me show you the difference. It's either this bill, my Young Living bill, or back on asthma meds I go. And then I'm permanently down the toilet. And this is what at least it will cost you if I don't go to the hospital. And if I drop dead, you will not survive without me. So then he lets me now get my Young Living without the must, blah, 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 blah. So that's my little happy story.
And just so you guys know too, if you know somebody who's thinking of starting, this $165 is $410 worth of oils, let alone the diffuser. So you get the pan away, like she said, you get the frankincense, you get the peace and calming. I mean, you get raven, you have your lemon, lavender, and peppermint in here too, that we were talking about tonight. So it is honestly a really excellent deal, something to think about. And especially if you have a friend who's thinking of coming on board, this is actually the way to go. So that I'm excited. I'm excited about that new diffuser in there and to see it's normally $60 on its own. Yeah, that's very exciting. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us. Those of you who want to stick around, we are doing a class on commissions. So in a few minutes, we'll be starting a commissions class, but we have a few minutes if you have some more questions that you would like to ask. And for those of you who joined us here, thanks again. Bye.